The lizard hanged.
Welcome to Driftwood, God-woken.
One bloody eye cracks open, glittering gold appearing from beneath the swollen lid.
Chased you all the way here from Fort Joy, did they? Very well then, cut me down. There is work to be done. Or indeed you could stand there gawping as if you were a cow ordered to dance a reel. It is a masterful performance. I would applaud it, but well. Be quick about it before the next Magistrate Patrol realizes something is amiss. God's teeth, it feels good to move again. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have a house to secure. Meet me at my home in Driftwood. We have much to discuss.
She doesn't feel like playing, but...
The Meister sits slumped in a chair, looking around the room as she works her shoulder with one hand. It looks like it was dislocated by the gallows.
Damnable red-cloaked baboons ransacking my wardrobes, as if I would keep ancient valuable secrets in a pile with my unmentionables.
She takes a deep breath, and with a twist, a click, and a screech of pain, she shoves her shoulder back into its socket.
I swear by the seven, if we did not have more important matters to attend to.
Reaching across the table, she pulls a bowl of hot water towards her and fishes some bandages, a needle, and thread out of a box. She slowly starts to tend to her wounds.
At least the barbarians were unable to club their way into my vault, so everything you need should be safe. In your case, more than I suspect, man, god or even reptile can provide. However, we must soldier on. It is not enough to be god-woken in order to ascend to divinity. There is a process.
As she speaks, the Meister uncorks a vial of shimmering liquid, sauce. She lets a couple of drops fall on her hand, but instead of infusing with her body, they quickly evaporate on her scales. She stares at the empty spot on her palm for a long moment, before turning back to you, continuing as if nothing had happened.
A process by which God-woken may ascend. It begins with discovering your deepest self, delving into your own soul. Enthusiasm? On a weekday? My word. We shall begin once we have the tools we need from my vault. You may have been chosen God-woken, but becoming divine requires more than a supernatural pat on the head. Come, God-woken. It is time to see just how awake you are. Fortunately, the Magisters pay as much attention to art as they do to fashion. Kindly remove that painting from the wall. I pray my instruction, your talent for following simple instructions fills me with wonder and pride. Push. Now, kindly go to the vault and enter the combination. I shall call it out as you go.
A stone door lies flush with the floorboards. Etched whorls in the granite frame a delicate rotary dial. Gleaming under the dim light, the metallic dial almost seems to wink at you. Taking your time, you carefully enter the combination. The metallic sounds of the tumblers falling within the mechanism let you know you entered the code correctly.
Excellent. Follow me. Your time is at hand, Godwoken.
Ancient ruins, weird contraptions. This place is an Arcanist's dream.
The Meister is examining her wounds, prodding at this, wincing at that. Her face seems grim as she turns to you.
Do you know what it means to have the power of the divine, Godwoken? And you, in your infinite wisdom, would know what is better? You would judge your enemies without prejudice and make decisions that could hurt your own for the greater good? No. Becoming the divine means taking on the power of all the gods and the responsibility for all the races. The divine was created by the gods to shelter us from the void. The divine cannot use his power for anything else. When you become the divine, there is no more self.
For just a moment, her eyes soften as she looks at you.
It is no small thing to ask, but it is your duty. Without a new divine, Rivellon will die. Very well, then. Let's see if we can't snatch divinity from the jaws of the void. The ritual itself is quite simple. Drop some blackroot in the bowl, mix in a little blood, set the concoction aflame, and then inhale the smoke. Ignore any feelings of dizziness, burning in your lungs, or a dire sense of existential dread. They're all perfectly normal, although you will need to sacrifice a little sauce along the way. Everything you need is here. Ingredients in the cupboard. Sauce in the glowing fountain. Ritual in the tome by the bookcase. Even an incinerator to provide a flame.
The Meister looks back at her wounds, curiously prodding them as...
And do not lose anything! These ingredients are rare indeed. I'm not hiking back out to the Cloisterwood to fetch you more blackroot.
Opening the door, you see a selection of ingredients, thrown together in no particular order. After a quick rummage, you spot the black root nestled between the grated dragon's tongue and Drudanate oil. You gather up the black root, obsidian lance, and ancient bowl, and kick the door of the cupboard closed. As you suck the smoke deep into your lungs, your vision starts to swim and cloud. There is an intense pounding in your head, and you can feel the world fading. As the world fades away, you lose all sense of being grounded. You reach out, but you could feel yourself falling slowly.
This is the deepest recess of my soul. But it looks like the Hall of Echoes.
Bathed in the half-light of these starless barrens, you spot a figure you could only describe as a second self. It looks haggard and weak, its very voice but a feeble echo of your own.
My chosen, come. Come closer, so that you may see me as I truly am. Look me in the eyes.
The apparition clasps your face in its shaking hands. You suddenly feel your eyes tingle. Everything becomes brighter, sharper. Blacks and whites become glorious bursts of color, then fade back into their accustomed spectrum.
Blind eyes shine brightly. Speak the spell and see.
Strange mirror image of yourself. Before you stands the god Ralik in all his spectral glory.
You know me now, don't you? I saved you from drowning. I blessed you, made you powerful. And now I've come to seek some power in return. Your god-woken soul is my last refuge, my last bastion. May as well make the best of what you have to offer.
Ralik nourishes himself from the source that abounds in your presence. You feel it deep down inside yourself.
Ah, yes. Just what I needed. I tell you, dying just doesn't become a god. The void itself is hunting down the gods, leeching us in ways we never thought possible. Droplet by droplet, we are being drained. We're battling for our very survival. It's a battle we're losing, and should we truly lose, all will be cast into oblivion. To save us both, as a matter of fact. You must realize that our fates are now as one, just as our souls are now as one. We are I. Together we are a force to be reckoned with. But if we seek to survive the onslaught of the Void, We stand no chance unless we become vastly more powerful than we are now. That means there is but one place we can go. The Well of Ascension. It is a lake, a pool of pure source in which the powers of the Seven lie united. We gave them up freely to create the first divine. Each of us donated half of that which makes us gods. To bathe in the lake is to become our chosen. That is where the road to divinity leads, and you must be the first to reach it at all costs. It was a time of selflessness and sacrifice in the face of our old enemy. It was an act of heroism and a dreadful mistake. A mistake we must rectify. The Void is stronger than ever. A new divine won't be enough. You need to go to the Well of Ascension, not to bathe in the source of the Seven, but to take it. All of it. Only he who claims everything will be everything. The Void's doom. This world's liberator. I hope you understand them to their full extent. The other gods must either bow to you, or be undone. But of course, that is what they are saying to their own god Woken as we speak. We both know they won't bow, just like we both know you will never bow to them. Only one can become a god strong enough to safeguard our world. One, at the expense of all others. So make no mistake, my champion. Chances are the road to divinity will be paved with dead gods, their blood on your murderous hands. But don't let that dismay you. For these sins will be washed clean by the knowledge you committed them to save all of existence. To save your kin, and your loved ones, and the world they live in. I promise that yours alone will be the powers of the lake, and to the lake I will lead you. But not yet. Not until you've become a true master of the Source. Until you speak the language of creation itself. Our journey will be fraught with peril. It is a pilgrimage of challenges that will require you to command Source like only a god Woken can, and wield its most powerful spell.
Hoarse laughter rolls and echoes into infinity.
You are already formidable, my chosen. But you underestimate just how much more formidable you could be. We are I now. The spells you need to know I will teach you when you are ready. But first you must learn to channel the Source in greater volumes. That is why you need to seek Masters of the Source. You must make them teach you, so that you may become a master in turn. So, return to Rivellon and seek out these sages where they dwell. Convince them to share with you their deep-seated bond with the Source. Once you have, you may return to me here. Best of luck, my champion.
The Meister stares intently at you.
Still alive? Gods above, there might be something to you after all.
She leans in, her bloody tongue flickering hungrily about your face.
Tell me, what did you see? What you know?
She sighs impatiently as you hack up the last of the green smoke.
You can't channel enough sauce? Gods be damned, why couldn't you have a nice simple problem? Finding an orc to dance the hornpipe, perhaps? I know exactly what must be done. You must find a master of sauce. And I could have helped you once, but no longer. The purging which the Magisters included as part of their service was quite efficient. They stripped me of my sauce. To silence me, but enough that I would not turn their insides to lime. Enough to sever my link to the font from which all source flows, and certainly enough that I cannot train you. So we must seek alternatives. Alas, the only source masters not yet hauled off to Fort Joy or turned into meat puppets are those too dangerous or cunning for the Magisters to contain. Sorcerers that allowed their power to corrupt them. Many are wicked, cruel, vile, and generally not good teacher material, but we may have no others to turn to. These are the kinds of creatures that grew bored pulling the legs from spiders and so moved on to people. Fun is not the word I would choose. However, it is the path we walk, no matter what the cost. No matter what is asked of you.
The Meister doubles over in a violent coughing fit, struggling for breath. After a few moments, she regains her composure, wiping a thin smear of blood from the corner of her mouth.
No matter what is asked of you, you must learn from them. The Magisters have kept ledgers with all known sorcerers, especially the powerful ones not yet captured. They would be an invaluable resource, but do be careful not to get caught. I was their guest for a time, and I promise you the gallows was the most comfortable part of the experience. And if their barracks turns out to be as empty as their skulls, just try to keep an ear to the ground. There may still be powerful sorcerers hiding in these lands.
As she speaks, one of her wounds reopens, a dark red stain spreading across her tunic. She hisses in frustration and starts to bind the gash.
I wish there was more I could do, but in this condition, I would be more a hindrance than a boon. Godspeed, and remember, do whatever it takes.
The squirrel... The spirit of an elegant elven woman materializes before you. She seems surprised.
You can see me. A god woken in my presence. I am the Meister's apprentice. I study under her, but I do not learn. I hear tales of the ritual, of what lies beyond. Such wonders, such powers. I decide to pursue them myself. Meister tells me it cannot happen, that I am not god woken. But in my heart, I know I'm special. I try. I burn the root. I breathe the smoke and it burns me back. No air fills my lungs, only fire. When the darkness falls, I cannot cry out. I leave my life behind with a shameful whimper.
The spirit looks at you regretfully.
It is hard to hear of such power and not covet it for yourself. I lie to myself and convince myself that I am special. But I am not special. I am dead.
The Meister sits slumped in her chair. You notice that some of her scales have dropped.
What news? Can you channel enough source? Are you powerful enough to press them? Why, pray tell?
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Penny for a sick dog. A glance at the dog's miserable face tells you it's sick, all right.
What am I, dog's doctor? Dog's sick. Go on, give a penny for a sick dog. Putty for a penny, you can sing him a love song and call him Mummy. Thank ye kindly. Any chance of another one? Penny for a sick dog and all that?
You're safe among friends. Never forget it.
Then get out of the way, cheapskate. Penny for a sick dog, people. Go on there. Penny for a sick dog.
The dog lies there quietly, clearly in great pain. It snaps at your hand. It flinches. A low, threatening growl builds within its throat. Under the collar, you find the sharpened points of metal rivets, gouging the poor dog's skin. The dog bares its teeth at you and growls. The dog gives you a long, hard stare, but does not bite you. Yet. The dog goes to bite your hand, and then realizes the pain is gone. He licks your hand and grins. Then he turns to his master, gives him one loud bark of protest, and leaves.
Eggs dropped in a vat of vinegar.
Well, don't come over.
Keeping it together, Bree.
Penny for a grieving beggar whose dog ran away.
You're safe among friends.
Penny for a grieving beggar whose dog ran away. God damn it. That was my livelihood. Penny for a grieving beggar? I reckon I'm owed it here. No. No. Go on then, get lost, you freeloader. I'm working here.
they don't fancy starving along with the rest of this town. It's all well and good for you with your rations.
Useless. Bloody useless.
A valiant warrior against the void.
I'll take your order.
Your eyes
Pick up the
peeled.
lines, elf.
Ramos the Wanderer promised he'd
Yeah? You're good with the Magisters caging anyone up that looks at me funny.
We wander and wonder, seeking signs from the gods. May the seven usher us to paradise.
Just, finally! Your colleague over there is... I'll have a bowl of the house stew, if you please. Oh, pity. I've been trying to get a little something to eat all day. But the giggleheads who run this establishment don't seem to be willing to provide a fellow with his fair portion. After all I've been through, too.
He lowers his gaze, then looks up at you expectantly. His lip trembles dramatically.
It's my mentor. My dear mentor. He was killed by those void beasts. I told him we ought not to travel in the hills, but would he listen? No. Now here I sit, my closest companion gone, our precious cargo worth more than Lucian's right ring, lost to the beast-infested wilds, and the waiter won't even bring me any stew. Ah, then perhaps my luck has changed. Yes, perhaps this awful business might soon be behind me. Tell me, how are you in, well, Void Woken? Ah, terrific news. Then what I ask will be little more than a trifling. My mentor, Liam, and I were hauling in a goodly number of fine wares from the Southlands when we crossed paths with a great brute of a Void Woken. It made short work of Liam, may the gods rest his soul. I managed to escape, but my precious cargo was left behind. We'd invested our entire livelihood in those wares. I'll do anything to get them back. Stars, you must have been sent from on high. And don't worry, I'll make it very worth your while. This I promise, on my honour. Now, give me your map. I'll show you just where to look. I doubt those beasts out there have any use of such a cargo. I can't tell you how thoroughly you've made my day. Good luck.
You're good with the Magisters caging anyone up that looks at me funny.
Weep, my friend.
damn work and nothing to show for
Oh, Bish, you good.
it. Might as well have rotted in the death box. What's he...
Watch it. Those are source
He's
hounds.
as gone as the rest of them. What is it, boy? Must have picked up some sauce.
What is it, boy? Must have picked up
Halt!
some sauce.
The hound smells sauce on you. Plenty of it, by the sound of him.
Haven't got a collar for you. Damn it.
I'm sorry, but I can't let you leave. Hounds, at the ready. Attack!
met me as a lone wolf. But did I ever tell you of my past in the Divine Order?
Smells like blood and death. I wonder what
We're getting close. Garvin said the attack happened somewhere around here.
The cargo ought to be nearby.
favour for me?
Seems someone's been digging rather hastily.
Something isn't right here.
Puss-crested rat! Cack-sniffing whelp! Where you hiding? Daddy's boy, where you hiding?
The spirit notices his eviscerated corpse, caked in dirt and laced with maggots, and lets out a spine-curling howl.
Snake crawled round a pile of filth, puddle of sick dog's piss. My apprentice! I loved him as my own! Spoiled, irreverent, arrogant, treacherous pustule! I loved him as my own! I want his head in my hands. I want his head in the dirt, sticky with worms, picked to the bones by buzzards. Bring it to me! Bring it to me! Head of the dog, Garvin! Garvin! Spoiled like green milk, like a stinking egg. His hands were bigger than his head. He wanted and wanted, but didn't know enough. Never enough. He'll got the business, same as he did me. Rat, pig, dog. Find him. Feel his heart. Squeeze it dry. Squeeze it dead. Bring the head. Bring the head!
So, what's the word? Ah, my poor mentor. Lost to the wilds, I regret to inform you. Take it from me. Avoid the open country around here. The Voidwoken are not to be trifled with.
He looks at you with his brow knitted, lips pursed, pain painted mask-like upon his face.
What a loathsome thing to say to one mourning the loss of his finest friend and mentor. Good day. Very good. Now, if there's nothing else...
Occupied! Oh, unholy hells! Do Do I sound like I'm alright? That's what I get. Bloody tainted stew! Mix a little fish into some of my stew. Bloody mackerel must have been tainted. Save me, Lucian!
Never forget it.
Jake's mum's so nice.
By sorcerers, a most vile incident.
A prim woman in a starched apron wipes a glass with a clean rag. She pins you with blue, steel-sharp eyes as you approach the bar.
Blessings upon our Lucian, 7 times divine.
Most divine. We wait, we wander and wonder, seeking signs from the gods. And may the 7 usher us to paradise against all odds. Warrior against the void. Taken too early, all hope destroyed. The path thus ended, the conclusion of a noble bloodline. Who shall rise? Who gains the title most divine? We wait, we wander and wonder, seeking signs from the gods. May the 7 usher us to paradise against all odds.
Jake's gone a bit long now.
Keeping it together, Reed.
I'm all right, as long as I don't think too much.
You're safe among friends. Never forget
Tell me, if they got nothing to hide, they got nothing to get.
Yeah? You're good with the Magisters caging
So,
everyone up?
what's the word?
Always.
I haven't forgotten what I've heard about the chef's mastery of the pot and cleaver. I'm simply waiting to have it proven to me. It smells truly divine. And different somehow. Perhaps a special mixture from the house?
Garvin tastes the stew, then begins spooning it into his mouth. He sighs with pleasure. His eyes go wide.
Oh no. Oh no. 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 Something isn't right. I need to go. Move. I don't feel so well.
Why the devil is this stall out in the open? Why the devil is this stall out in the open?
What was in that stew you gave me? I swear if I could. If I weren't... Gods, I haven't the... energy for this. You want to know the truth? The old man was a fraud. Always hinting that he had an amazing stash hidden away somewhere. But you know what I found when I tasted his flesh? Nothing.
His intestines threaten you both with a high squeal.
You had to push me, didn't you? This is gonna be messy. Mistake.
Oh, please, Lucian.
I'm ready.
Oh. Why the devil is this stall out in the open? Why the devil is this stall out in the open? Oh, heavens! What was in that?
My head hurts.
Weep, my friends, for Alexander the Innocent.
Where is his head? Where is his heart? Speak! Dead. Rot take him. Buzzards use him for a latrine. His head. I want to look into his eyes. My boy is dead. My boy is dead. The snake.
He takes the head in his hands and gazes into its lifeless eyes. He tenderly strokes Garvin's head, and a sad smile crosses his lips.
May maggots bugger you for all time, my dear boy. You, get that map of yours on hand. I've got a little something for you. Garvin took nearly everything from me, but not nearly enough. I'll show you where to look. I feel the pull of the Hall. It's my time at last. Gods, I hope I'll meet my boy again. Maybe I'll get to look him in the eye when I take his head from him again and again and again.
What is it? Unless you know something about the disappearances, leave me alone. I need to concentrate.
The elf shrugs listlessly, his eyes scanning his omnipresent collection of notes.
Plenty of suspects. Plenty of maybes. Precious little progress, though. I'm still convinced that the tavern is key to all this, though. I was removed from their ranks due to my elven blood. I'll continue to serve, though. I won't stand to see my comrades taken by some vile traitor. This is going nowhere.
Throw him in a hole for all I care. It's the greater good.
The spirit of a magister stares dumbly at her translucent hand, the fingers of which have been sheared off.
My ring! Where's my ring?
The spirit pivots her wrist, staring at the fingerless hand, utterly, morbidly entranced.
I should have been more careful. She hacked at my sword hand first. I couldn't defend myself.
The spirit stares, absorbing your question. Finally, she points her fingerless hand towards the kitchen. The spirit's lips part, trying to form an answer, but it doesn't come. She forlornly stares at you, unable to find the words. The spirit looks at you with the smallest flicker of realization.
I was still alive when she started cutting pieces off me. She wanted me to feel it. All of it.
The spirit inclines her head towards the kitchen. The spirit ponders your question and seems to shiver.
Oh, in many places. I feel my body in 100 moving graves, warm and wet.
The cook acknowledges you with a small bow, an oddly formal gesture given the surroundings.
Please, sir, you should not be back here. It's not safe. A ghost? Peddle your children's tales elsewhere. I have work to do. Please, I must insist you keep out of my kitchens. It's not safe for you to wander about like this. You should speak to Loverick if you want food.
something.
The cook acknowledges you with a small...
This ring, it bears the Magister seal, and there's blood on it.
Please, madam. Please, I must insist you keep out of my kitchens. It's not safe for you to wander about like this.
She grabs the ring and glares at you, like a rattlesnake observing its next live meal.
You should have just kept out of this.
She gives you a defiant look.
Magisters are a blight. They deserve worse than the death I gave them. I wouldn't taint the earth with their carcasses. Better that they vanish into unsuspecting stomachs.
The cook shakes her head ruefully.
You should have just forgotten about all of this.
You've got enough in front of you, elf.
Worms take you.
Cooking notes. Wait. There's something wrong with this.
Pipe down, will you?
I have to stop these disappearances. My career is at stake.
The Magister startles, realizing there's a stranger in his midst.
What do you want? You can't just come in here as you please. There's Magisters missing. I'm trying to conduct a bloody investigation. Well, what are you waiting for? Tell me! What? The bloody cook? It can't be! Well, why did Higba have that contraband then? Then he's still guilty of something. I'm not calling off the manhunt until I have that fiend one way or another. As for this cook, do you have any proof?
The Magister snatches the ring from your palm and stares at it.
This is a conduct award. I presented it to Magister Harrick myself. She was the second one to be taken. The cook's been reported dead. I thought she was another victim, but if she had this, she must have been the culprit. There's no other explanation.
He shudders in disgust.
And to think she was so near to us, to me, all this time. It seems I owe you my thanks. And a reward.
He holds out a pouch of gold. You try to take it, but he doesn't yet relinquish his grasp. With his free hand, he wags a finger in your face.
Keep this ugliness to yourself. I wouldn't want it thought that we Magisters can't solve our own problems without throwing gold about.
He lets go of the pouch and turns away.
Bellwether, I need those reports down.
Right away.
Elson, my inkwell is dry. Fetch me some more.
Of course, sir. Right away.